Of Germany, Mike, just keeping it steady. The German squad, Pfeiffer and Lesser taking legs 3 and 4. Birnbacher surely has been the strongest of those throughout the season. Are you surprised he's gone on leg 2?
I thought you need a strong man. That's skiing wise and shooting wise on your last leg. I was surprised the German team didn't put Birnbacher last. No disrespect to Lesser, he has been shooting well. But Pfeiffer, because they haven't been winning medals, you just assume they're on bad form. But Pfeiffer is actually on good ski form. I don't think he'll lose anything on the track. It's just a confidence issue, I think, with the German team. And hopefully now that they're placed at the front, that confidence will be coming back.
Well, certainly, I think there's some concern in the German camp as to whether Birnbacher is vulnerable when it comes to a pressure shoot. And the second stand is the one that we saw him crumbled a little bit in Ruhpolding last year, where he was odds-on favourite to win medals, let alone gold medals. So I think they're a little bit concerned about that. So Lesser is the man who's got to shoulder all the pressure on the anchor leg.
But isn't shooting amazing? Isn't form amazing when Andy Birnbacher is saying, whatever's going on, I'm not feeling that motivated here, I'm not up for this, and his shooting has taken a 5% drop from where it was prior to these championships. So it's all about desire, motivation, the will to hit the targets, the desire to push hard.
One more shoot for the men on your screen before they complete the last 2.5 kilometre loop. We've got the Czech Republic in the background trying to close down, and in doing so they, I think, are bringing France with them. It was 24.5 seconds last time we had a look, and here comes André Moravec of the Czech Republic. Just behind him is Beatrix of France, who is working so hard to stay with the pace, and they've got it down by a couple of seconds. Nothing too significant. I think what you'd be worried about, Mike, is the fact they're having to work so hard to gain so little.
It's, as you say, it's so little. They're putting a lot of effort in there. Beatrix has had good shooting form here, Patrick, at these championships, and with a 20th, a 26th and a 13th position. But statistically, he's only a 68% hit in the stand, Beatrix. He needs to do a little better if he wants to stay where he is. What is he, 5th, 6th position? Ustikov leading it in. He wants lane 1. And the wind, it's insignificant. It's just a little bit from the left, but no big deal.
Ustikov with an 80% hit rate in the stand position. Larbilund for Norway, 3rd in this group with a 74% hit rate. And for Germany, Andy Birnbacher, 86. So Andy Birnbacher, on paper, the favourite to exit the range in first position. Will it turn out that way? We'll find out in roughly 30 seconds' time. Norway go 5, Germany match them, Russia with 1 miss, Austria with 2. Is this the last we're going to see of the Austrians? It's been a great effort from them so far, but mistakes at this stage can prove so expensive. Ustikov gets it down at the first time of asking, so he's lost what? It will be 7-8 seconds minimum for the Russians. Mesetic, that's okay, the nerves must have been jingling. Simon Forcada.
Beatrix
took the first leg, I was going to say, creating pressure for Beatrix, and this is where we're going to find out whether the youngster can cope.
He did well. He got 4 out of 5. Then he had some issue with his spare round, but he held his nerve eventually. But they're going to have lost, 15 seconds from when they came in.
There is Emlia for the Ukraine. Here comes Tim Burke. He has skied incredibly quickly on this last lap to try and get back in touch with the minor placings. He now needs to, I was going to say, clear all 5 first time round, but it's not happened.
Well, Tim is going for he has to, I think, go for this fast strategy to try and close the time. With that is risk, but that's why you've got 3 spare rounds in this round. You can take more risk.
Well, you can take more risk, but it's still very costly indeed. This is an unnecessary waste of time. Raphael Poré used to constantly lose time with mechanicals, as they call them.
Mechanical problems. All you have to do is place that 5mm bullet head in the 5mm chamber. But it's easy sitting here saying that when you're out of breath and the tension.
Yeah, it's a bit like when you're in a rush to get the car going and you can't get the key in the ignition. It's that sort of syndrome. If you just take your time, it will happen first time round. So from a group of 5, we now have 2 out front, Norway and Germany, perhaps the 2 biggest rivals over the last decade in men's relays. The French will be disappointed, Mike. It's going to be interesting to see how far behind they were. They were 24. That has almost doubled.
And that really, Patrick, that was Beatrix shot fast. He hit the first, second, third, fourth, and then he had that 10-15 second issue with placing the next the spare round in. And Ustigov struggled on the range, missing 2. Now he has to try and pick it up on the track.
Mesto, 20 seconds down. The Austrians, I think, will still be reasonably happy. They brought back Christoph Suman for the 3rd leg, the Austrians, a man who's been demoted of late to the IBU Cup. He's the oldest in the team, Mike, still desperately wanted to compete here. And to give him credit, he's done well enough at the IBU Cup to be called up into the relay team instead of Pinter and Eberhardt.
Yes, he has. Of course, he came second, when was it? Last Thursday, a week Thursday, in the 20 kilometre. He only missed 1 shot. And second at IBU Cup is good racing.
There's a great race going on for 5, 6 and 7. They're now some, 700 metres behind the leaders.
Ustigov, when did we last see him digging this deep? He's desperately trying to close those 10 seconds. Well, it was 11, it's now 10.
Yeah, Labelund can afford to push now. It's relatively easy from this point of the course. Fast downhills where you have to make sure. A mistake will certainly cost you 15 seconds, but under the road they go, and the downhill continues as they bend away to the right. And then the long approach to the stadium. Ski preparation crucial. Haven't noticed any teams that have had problems so far today on the downhill section. Certainly not as obvious as it was with the Russian women yesterday. That must be bitterly disappointing, Mike, when you start the race, because on this course, within 500 metres, you know that you've got a pair of duds on your feet.
You do. Remo Krüger, the Austrian coach, he's German. Just a little concerned that Austria are down, 20 seconds behind Mesto.
Well, I know Norway and Germany, 2 of the big teams, are leading, but there's no doubt that the smaller nations have closed the gap on the big names. We had a chat to Tim Burke and a number of other people about it. They all think it's because teams now employ an international backup team. They go for the Americans, they go for Czech waxers, they've got Swedish coaches, they've got
Finnish as well.
Yeah, in a couple of Finns. Everyone is there, so everyone is drawing on the knowledge that they have from their own country. And I think that's a fantastic thing for biathlon, and it means that the gaps between the fast and the not so fast are far smaller than they've been in the past. Here come Austria, and a good finish coming in from Dani Mesto. Christoph Suman waiting in the stadium, just limbering up, stretching those groin muscles before he sets out on his 7.5 kilometre run.
Just Sweden still way back down the 14th. I'm just looking at Bjorn Ferry. He is closing the gap slightly, but 141 behind is huge for they were one of the favourites for a podium position.
Well done to Germany. They've kept themselves in contention. I think they have more pressure on them than any other team, simply because their performances have been so poor so far. And remember, they've never left a Biathlon World Championships without a gold medal. It's looking horribly likely at the moment. I think today probably their best chance, because I can't see Germany getting a gold in the women's mass start, and I think it's unlikely in the men's.
On paper, yes, you would say so, but today they've created this the tradition of Germany being great in the relay. They're living up to that. It's only 0.3 of a second behind.
Moravec of the Czech Republic 40 seconds behind when he set off on the last lap. He now hands over to the fully recovered Jaroslav Sukup of Czech Republic on the right-hand side. The French 44.1 behind. Now, Alexei Burf is good, but I think there are signs that he's starting to fatigue, but he does have the #1 in the world taking the anchor leg, so the French still have a chance of claiming the gold. Although at some stage, if they stay 44 seconds behind, they're going to have to switch their ambitions and just go for the medal.
They really are, and Ukraine still in it without a doubt at 1 minute. Dodzemlia looking tired. He has looked tired. There he is, in fact, left of screen. He's looked very tired the last 3 or 4 races.
Artem Prima on course for the Ukraine. The Norwegians have Terje Bo, who missed the first part of the season, but every race he's done here in the Czech Republic, he's looked better and stronger and more confident. So I think Norway will be fairly relaxed the way things are going at the moment. Three teams already through the 1 kilometre stage on this third leg. Austria are in 4th position, just waiting for one of those leading teams to make a mistake, and then they will move up into the medal positions. But there are more behind them. Here come France and the Czech Republic, who've been working together for the last 10 kilometres. And this is Alexei Berth leading the way at the moment. Sukuk behind him. The Czechs still excited, Mike, but it's just a shame they don't have a 4th man of the calibre of Moravec.
It is a pity. Well, we mentioned earlier, Vitek is out, and Vitek's a strong player, but of course Krishmar just coming in, and it'll be the race of his life, the pressure of his life as well, I think, to be going on the anchor leg. But I think this is the sensible way for the Czech Republic to play the 3 strongest cards first, and then maybe that motivation, if they're on the medal situation, might bring something special out of Krishmarsh.
Yeah, Krishmarsh might have been better on that first leg, where they took the first 2 laps so slowly. He would have been able to keep that pace without any problem at all.
Do you know, that is the way that relays are going nowadays. It used to be just absolute burning pace from the gun to the line, but the first leg is beginning to reshape itself to a slow first leg, not a killer pace second time round, I should say, and then of course maximum the final 2.5.
I agree, but as soon as too many teams put weaker athletes onto the first leg, the big names will say we've got to seize our advantage, and things will change. I think they all sized each other up and said we're fairly even. But it's an interesting concept, interesting to see the way it's panned out over the last couple of years, and Norway have been the team that have got the tactics right every time since 2009. Will it be right today? They are, of course, looking for their 7th gold medal of these championships.
Just looking further back down the track, Patrick, Slovenia disappointing down at the moment in 19th. Finland 21st. Great Britain, Kevin Kane hasn't missed a shot, so he's definitely moved the British team up. It was 25th, it's now 23rd.
Yeah, he's only lost a minute to those in front, so a good leg from Kevin Kane. Well done to him. 10 out of 10. That's the way it needs to be from the very beginning. 23rd position, ranked 22. If they finish in the top 20, that goes down as a good day's work, but they've got some work to do to catch Japan, Finland and Lithuania, who are just in front of them.